you feel better not showing your... Here, let me protect my identity. I'm Secret B.
All right, that was weird. That never happens. It replayed itself. How's everyone doing tonight? Hope everybody's well. Pretty much, I'm just gonna take this as smooth as I can. Give you as much information as I can remember, or as I can recall. Yeah, who cares about the fucking names, really? Like, I got a lot of them up on, the picture. So, these people, this is just a small group, but.
And Rocko, if I may, chime in a little bit here before you share your memories and recalls with us a bit.
Well, you can ask questions because I've already went over it with you, so maybe that's a little bit more easier for me because I might actually, I will be able to, tell you everything that, I remember, as much as I remember.
All right, go for it. I wanted to give the audience a little bit of an overview,
okay,
for their sake and for your show here. So I've known you, Rocko, for a couple of years now, and it's mostly been in the context of the Montauk Project, which was at Camp Hero, also known as the Phoenix Project, on the very east end of Long Island, New York, and used to live on Long Island, New York. And here we are talking tonight about your memories of P. Diddy and his entourage there, and other people involved. And a lot of us, just kind of in the public who have no connection to the whole P. Diddy scandal or any of this, are generally familiar with it from the Los Angeles Hollywood side of it. And, but not as many people know, although it is known publicly, P. Diddy had a mansion in the East Hamptons, which, apparently he loved. And I know you'll go into that during our show tonight. And so, and in addition to the Montauk Project, you are also in the foster system. And, you've done shows on that, and I've been on a few with you, describing all of that and the traumas that come with that. And, it's almost, there's a sad irony, if you will, in that after you grew up enough to be, a young man, 17, 18 years old, and to get away from the foster system and to have some actual legal autonomy, and sovereignty, to kind of, get away and try to have a good time as a young man, you would go to local nightclubs in the Long Island area to have fun and to party. And our last episode that I was with you on, you were sharing recall of how this one gal named Misha, it might have been, she was a black gal with who'd wear a blonde wig, and would P. Diddy in this one instance would send her into the clubs to pick up young men that P. Diddy found attractive for whatever reason. And that was how you first got involved in kind of going to these P. Diddy parties at the East Hampton mansion. And so I just wanted to, let it be known to the audience that you have a lot of context and experience, Rocko, in these Illuminati cabal SSP circles. I don't think it's just a random coincidence. Okay. And so, with that, please take it away.
Wow, yeah, that was a lot. That is a for sure thing. From the foster care system, and see, a lot of people grow up differently. We all grow up differently. We all grow up, cut from different cloths. Me, I was already out of control because the foster care system had basically, told me, my mother was not a nice person. And, I, when I got out finally and I came back to New York, I was 16. So, I started partying, locally, and, I started meeting people, valet, drivers, several different people that worked, parties and even the clubs. So, I found out how easy it was. Let me get a fake ID. I was getting a fake ID and I was going to these clubs, and next thing you know, I was getting manipulated. I was given a little bit of that GHB, and boom, next thing you know, I am, in a lot of times P. Diddy loves mirrors. Okay. Loves mirrors. So one thing about him is mirrors. Now, with GHB, it controls everything. You're under control. So like they'll force you. Like Diddy was the type where he's like, drink, 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 like he wants you to the point where he can have at it with you. Or Drake with me in the bathroom, rubbing me down with baby oil, along with Usher. Yeah, I said your two names.
And this was at the East Hamptons mansion of P. Diddy?
Yes. Okay. That I can recall. Now, it could be anywhere. It could be at an expensive hotel. I mean, these people will drug you and bring you places so you don't remember where you're going.
So it wasn't always necessarily like at the mansion, and it just stayed there at the
I mean,
mansion.
it could be at Steven Spielberg's,
Okay, and where was that in relationship to P. Diddy?
in the Hamptons. I don't remember exactly what town, but it was in the Hamptons.
So a lot of your not all of your experiences then took place with P. Diddy necessarily took place when they were picking you up with Misha and taking you back to his East Hamptons mansion. Sometimes they also
always at the. It seemed we were always at the East Hampton mansion when I was with Misha.
Okay, but you also mentioned Steven Spielberg's.
Oh, Steven Spielberg, Jay Leno. I mean, many people. Governor Cuomo. There's a lot of people that are being quiet right now. They're afraid.
Now, do you recall being at any of their houses or mansions?
No, but I can recall, like I said, Drake and Usher rubbing me down with baby oil, and we were in a bathroom, and this bathroom was like literally a bunch of mirrors. Like,
do you remember the color of the cabinetry or anything like that?
I remember it being like very satanic, like a red and a black.
Okay, so red and a black bathroom.
Baphomet stuff, like like colors, and it wasn't a good experience at all.
Okay, and here your background photo, for today's show, is P. Diddy wearing a bright red shirt, and it's like a dark background. So there are the satanic colors, Baphomet colors, and so so it wasn't like more like a Freemasonic.
What's he holding? If you remember on the last episode, I said he would hold a platter with blunts rolled, right?
Okay.
What's that have on it? Cigars.
Okay. What about it?
Diddy always had a blunt, a toothpick. This is how well I know this man. Always had to wear shades.
What's up with the platter? Like a toothpick? Like what's a toothpick for?
He would always chew on a toothpick. He'd always be chewing on a toothpick, or he'd be smoking a blunt.
Okay, so that's like his silver platter party tray?
No, the party tray is what I remember, where things were being passed around, and I just reach on the tray and take it, and next thing you know, I'd be incapacitated again. Even more, like it would intensify my, high.
Like how large were these like trays? Like, what are they?
What he's holding in his hand right now.
Okay, so that would get passed around at parties and stuff?
Oh yeah. That's an elite bunch right there. You see who's behind Diddy, right?
Jay-Z.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And then is that Aaliyah?
I believe so. I think one. I don't know the other guy. But I can tell you right now, you can look in their eyes right now, and you can look at the gateway to their souls. They have no souls. Diddy always had to wear glasses because his eyes were bright red, even if he didn't smoke. I think.
Okay.
Because there's a dark soul in there. Yeah, I'm scared to death of that man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Now I have to ask: when you looked into his eyes, did they ever turn jet black on you?
Not that I can recall. I just remember them turning bright red, like bright red. Like.
So then, can you tell us the blunts that he smoked? Were they just marijuana or in tobacco, or what kind of blunts did he smoke?
I think it was marijuana with a mixture of some other kind of drug or something. They had
blunts. Would his blunts incapacitate you too?
Well, it would just keep you high, man. It would just keep you. He wanted you to stay effed up, because the more effed up you get, the more controllable you get.
Okay.
And he just looked back with a camera, taking pictures, and you know what I mean, like and doing that, and at the same time saying, "Now I got you. So if you open your mouth, this is what's going to happen."
So he didn't just have hidden cameras.
He did not have boundaries. He did not. Yeah, not just hidden cameras. There were other cameras that are floating around. That's
he had like a camera with a flash on it and get you in compromising
That's
situations.
why I think a lot of times when I have these like vivid dreams of being like in the backyard of these parties, the flashes are camera flashes, is what I'm getting, is what I'm sensing and what I'm picking up
Mm.
It's like a camera flash, like a snap of a picture.
And you in the last show episode we discussed this. This all took place over the course of 4 summers.
It could have been a week at a time. It could have been several weeks, because in the summertime, I mean, I wouldn't even go to school. Like, I was the type of, like, that was me. That was me. I would not go to school. I was just all about partying and wanting to live that lifestyle, and realizing that that lifestyle cost your soul is what it cost.
What years were these, Rocko? Were these 4 summers, would you say?
It was 2004 till about late 2008. So I might not have even went 2008. I don't recall that right now, but I'm starting to recall a little bit more as I speak, because the questions you're asking is definitely helping me stay on course. Because, a lot of stuff that I might say might sound crazy to you, to the audience out there, but why would I be on here? Like Brian said, it's not a coincidence I'm connected with all these things, right? I'm in several books, my friends. I don't even know I'm in another book. Like, I'm Daniel O'Brien, and I mean,
that's John Whitberg, John Whitberg has Recall of You and Your Altered Danny, okay, or Daniel O'Brien from the Montauk Project, and he has written, that's including the testimony in his second volume of his series. It's not science fiction. This is testimony. The first book, The Man with the Periwinkle Eyes, is about the Project Ibis, and after his one alter, Kyle Delshow, served at Project Ibis, he spent time at Montauk, and that's where he met your alter Danny. Um, uh, and when I first co-organized the 2023 Montauk Adventure Tour with James Rink on the 80th anniversary of the Philadelphia experiment, there are others speaking about your altered Danny at Montauk. Christy Campbell, Chastity Campbell, I believe, Stephen Shear.
It looks like we got a fake crazy.
Joseph Powell. They all have Recall of You at Montauk Rock.
Oh yeah.
Earlier,
I want to try.
I was taking notes when you and I were speaking earlier.
Okay.
And you were mentioning you had friends who were construction contractors, and they had been hired by.
They totally walked away. Diddy was asking for some real, like. At first, the guy was going to do some of the work for him, but he was like very weary of what he said. That Diddy is not. He's not a normal person. He said he even thinks something's like really wrong with the man, like seriously wrong with him, because he's asking to build extra, like tunnel space or something, like a room or something. That he just didn't feel comfortable doing what he was asked to be. He walked away from a lot of money. You know what I mean? He walked away from a lot of money. Not to mention the son, which is my friend's brother, worked valet parking at Diddy's parties and was always offered drinks. And the Hamptons, he would be offered drinks, but he'd never take those drinks. He'd never take those drinks at all. He'd never, nothing. He would not take anything from them. He said there was always something weird about this man. He just could not pinpoint exactly what it was.
And is this the Valley friend who is also saying that things got pretty wild at the parties, things he witnessed?
Well, I mean, some people just go with the flow. And I guess that's just how my friend felt, like nervous, like if I don't know this guy, and the cops have been called and they don't show up, or
so your Valley friend would be there at a P. Diddy party, some type of event would happen, and a guest would try to call the cops, and the cops would never show up.
Sometimes that would happen. People would do that, and it didn't work out too well. It didn't work out too well at all.
Like did he ever describe any of the wild situations he saw where the cops would be called?
I mean, bodyguards having to pull people out. You hear it all the time coming out of different bodyguards now. It's homie CC, Gene Deal. You hear these people talking about what they've seen, and it's definitely real.
Okay. Because for me, not ever
imagine being a bodyguard and having to walk in and see some of the stuff you see in a party, and having to walk out and go home to your family.
That's what I'm wondering, Rocko, is what do you have to do to get kicked out of a P. Diddy party? I mean, I can imagine victims getting dragged out.
I do recall somebody speaking, if they are not into pedophilia, they have to leave.
Oh, so what you're saying is there are people who would protest against the nasty stuff they saw.
I don't know about protest, but if they weren't willing to get involved in something, if they were asked, I'm sure you've heard this before, they would just they'd be told they have to leave.
Okay, actually, I personally hadn't heard that before. And most of
remember with Isaac Happy, and how he said something about Seth Green told them, if you don't like pedophilia, then Hollywood is not a place for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, no, that part I get. What I'm saying is, at the point where someone's already at a P Diddy party and they're already being approached, to me, I almost get the impression it's almost like, boy, if you don't agree to do something, it's almost like they're gonna slather you in that GHB body oil and then like assault you anyway. But it sounds like there are times where no, okay, there are, people could have a choice to say no, and then they were given a choice. Like obviously, here's the door. Did I break up?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit for me.
What I was saying is, I had assumed until speaking with you, Rocco, that if you were already at one of these P Diddy parties at his mansion in the East Hamptons, and they were saying to do something, it's almost like you had no choice, or you're going to suffer other consequences. But what you're sharing with us is that no, that's not necessarily the case. There are times where there are people who would say no, and they were given the opportunity to actually leave. Thankfully,
Well, yeah, but then it's like, I mean, there were people giving their butthole up for record deals. Okay. Um, I, I just, part of me at one point when I was younger, like younger, I wanted to get involved in the industry and I was pushing towards it, but my dad was always trying to pull me away from it. So when I started hanging around the people I did, and I always chose to hang around older people, so that's why I got into this at like 17, and uh, I started to, you know, just I'd be hanging with the wrong people at the wrong times, and it became habit forming. It became like I go home if I went home, like like I said, I have missing blocks of time. So this is all like our mutual friend says, I'm stuck in that 17-year-old state partly, and I gotta slowly unpack this because I'm not gonna lie. What I did to Misha, without going into detail, because it's just one of those things that I wish I never. I, wish I
so
never
just
had to deal, and I wish I never had to wake up to this. This is a part of my life that honestly I would have rather stayed in the Montauk, but it wasn't possible. It was going to surface no matter what. And you know what I mean? Once the memories started coming in, I started acting a weird way. And, I showed signs. And even, people that I know said to me, when you were younger, something must happen. You know what I mean? Like you don't remember. That you don't remember it, or you don't want to remember it, right? Because you might feel it's too good to be true. But at the end of the day, I was a pretty boy, and I was easy. I was very easy.
you're trying to get into rap. You just come through the foster system. You had no real parental figures in your life or people you trusted. You're looking for approval. And then here's people with mansions and money and rap careers, and you're 16 or 17 years old with a fake ID.
Yeah, and meeting these people, like Lindsay Lohan, she would hang out at CPIs all the time.
So what's CPIs?
It's a club out in Hampton Bays. It's right on the canal. I think you've been out to Montauk. Yeah, when you went out to Montauk, I don't know if you went through Hampton Bays, but if you go over the canal, there's a big building to the right side of you, and it used to be. I think it burned down. CPIs.
Okay.
But it was one club that if you look it up and read about who famous people that hung out there, Diddy's name is one. Mary J. Blige is all of these people. A lot of names. Madonna is another one. So it's like these are all Illuminati. It's all like it's like
So you're gonna have young people who want to flock to this club. Oh my gosh, I might meet Madonna or P Diddy or whoever. But really, it's kind of like a den of thieves that you're walking into, and you might have your drink roofied, and then you might wake up in the wrong place.
Oh, well, the one girl, like I had the prophetic dream of this one girl in a black dress, and then I spoke to her the next day, and that was her story. And I remember that they'd flip her dress up and they'd touch her, and I mean, she was a go-go dancer. We talked, and I asked her, "Do you remember me?" And she said, "Yes, I do." Yes.
What did she remember? When did you talk to this person
Uh,
again?
seeing me at a Diddy party. I remember seeing her also at a Diddy party. He would ride around in a white Rolls Royce at one point. And I remember that. Yeah, he was, man. fucking monster. Is how I put it.
So did he ever have the baby oil in his Rolls Royce? But did he drive around with that stuff?
No, I don't know any. I don't remember being in that vehicle. I just remember being transported over in like either like a Mercedes SUV or Cadillac or something like real like laid back. Not that. I've never been in the Rolls. Never.
But so did he ever have did he have like an entourage of like multiple cars of people driving around? Because he had bodyguards and there was a
Oh
man.
yeah. I mean, Diddy had friends in the local police force. This is what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of people out there that know who they are, and I don't know if they're still working in the, system or, the government, local. And we're talking about local. We're talking about locals, local lawyers, local police officers, local, everything. It was,
So they're on the take, like they're getting paid off.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's come out that I believe that both Jay-Z and P. Diddy and others of the black men who are like the rappers and stars, or quote unquote, a lot of them are part of the Boule,
Yeah.
which is kind of like an arm of the Freemasons, more of like the black fraternal side, with a lot of the occult mysticism. And I believe they may also be Baphomet worshippers.
Yeah. What does Diddy have? He has a Baphomet, I believe, tatted on him. I believe that's a Baphomet he has tatted on one side of him. I think that's what that is. I could be wrong, but he
has a tattoo on him that's looks like a goat head type thing. Or this?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think so. I got to look through the pictures and check.
Now with Lindsay Lohan, so she used to party at that one
all the time, all the time.
Did people often end up from that CPI's place to?
It happened anywhere.
What's the name of the club?
It's CPI's.
That almost sounds like child porn.
Yeah, it's a weird. I don't know why they call it that either. Now that I look at it, I don't know why. Canoe Place Inn is what it was called. Canoe Place Inn, I believe. But it's still a weird.
Mansion in the East Hamptons.
Yes. Normally from the clubs, they break off to the parties, or depending on how big the party is, some people might go to the club first and then end up at the party somehow. I mean, you never know. It's who knows how. I mean, it would be easy. Like I said, I was very easy, manipulative. Like to be manipulated into something like that.
You were ready to hop into the nice flashy car.
I was ready to hop in and go party my ass off. I wasn't ready to go, have baby oil rubbed all over me by Drake and Jay-Z, or not Jay-Z, pardon, Usher. But
did you ever see Jay-Z?
Oh, he was always at those places, always.
Okay, what was he like in terms of?
I never really seen him do much of anything. All I seen him, it was like almost like he'd just walk around, and I think that there is a select few that only hang with one another at a certain point and do something that creates something for the whole party. You know what I mean? Like some kind of ritual between the highest of the high, like the high priestess, and you know what I mean? And how, Beyonce, and, she has that black cloud of like smoke that follows her. Like that one bodyguard was saying, like she has to have a spiritual advisor with her. Because
did you ever see this black cloud, or did you ever?
No, I've never witnessed it. But
do you recall seeing Beyonce at all?
Not off the top of my head, but I'm sure as time goes on, it'll come through, because either, like I said, when I woke up in that dream, I was covered in literal sweat from head to toe. I was in shock. I was just questioning myself. I didn't want to move the whole day. Like I just, it threw me off, like everything. It threw off because I was questioning that memory, because I just want to, stay focused on it, because it's important to have all that information. And that's why these podcasts are definitely important.
Now, Rocko, I know you also mentioned in terms of friends and people you said that there was somebody who you had a mother's friend that Diddy wanted her to work a party in New Jersey.
Yeah, he was a cook. And he was offered a job at one of Diddy's parties, and he said no after he went inside because he said it looked like a complete, like it was just demonic. He said he just got that feeling.
Is it East Hampton's mansion? You got
No,
the feeling it was.
no, it wasn't there. It
Oh,
was,
it's in New Jersey. Sorry, this isn't in New Jersey.
I believe it was New Jersey. Yeah, yeah. And he said I wouldn't take that job. I wouldn't take the job at all.
Not enough money to take that job.
No, no. There's certain people that get that vibe right off the bat. And then there's certain people that don't. Like people like you asked, why do I keep going back? It becomes an addictive. It became very addictive. That's all that is.
Well, I have to ask Rocko. I mean, at the point where the first time you're kind of lured to a P Diddy party, and on the surface you have a good time, but then you get drugged and then abused, perhaps. Then the next day, like, was it like you're drugged to the point where you don't even really realize you were abused, or is it you were abused, but
I mean, have these blocks of time. Yeah, I just kept getting drugged over and over and over again. Sometimes I believe in the summer, so like Diddy might want to keep us a certain amount of us for a certain amount of time. Like I remember, the dog cages, and I remember how he would treat, the dancers that worked there and worked for him, and how he'd be, pimping women out and sending them out on, to different, out of country, without their permission. I know the girl that I think it's Sasha that Beyonce was called. Well, I know the girl that really that was her name, and it was taken by Diddy and given to, I believe, Beyonce.
And so this seems to be like an Illuminati Hollywood thing where certain of the, like, especially musicians and actors and actresses, there'll be someone who really is that star or talent, and what this actor or musician will do, it will kind of ritually sacrifice the person in a way or make sure that they're dead. And then now that musician all of a sudden is taking on that personality and talent and sound and feel to their music or acting and artwork.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how a lot of them.
And this Sasha gal is she still alive, or what happened to her?
Oh no, she's still alive. She's still alive.
Okay, has she come public?
Yes.
She has.
She's yeah. Yes, very public. And I got to give it to her. She's ready to take this monster down, and I've spoken with her, and like she's gotten herself together. It's been a process. That go-go dancing, now looking back and being at those parties and seeing how hard they work, you know what I mean? And maybe they enjoy it then, but then they get older, right? And, all this crazy stuff comes out. And
all of a sudden the memories aren't that pleasant.
Correct. 100%. They're not pleasant at all. Because it's like certain podcasts, we're all arguing amongst one another. And that's really what, they want. The elite want. They want us to continue to argue with each other because it pushes back the time. And the more
when justice can be done, because we need to have at least unity around the concept of demanding justice.
I mean, there's definitely going to be like with me and Nisha and our acquaintance. Like it's more of acquaintance. But at first we were trying to be friendly and help one another, but sometimes it doesn't work out, unfortunately.
When you said earlier you felt bad about how you treated Nisha, was it how you treated her back then in those summer times, or are you talking it's more recent because of
infighting? Well, it was infighting, but it was also the memories, mainly to me, the memories, because Nisha's very forgiving, and she doesn't steady just talk about somebody. Like if she's done with that person, but respectfully so, she always says, I'm going to pray for that person, or so much love, to that. And
are you in contact with her now?
No, not at the moment. I'm kind of giving her space because I feel that that's the right thing to do. And like me, I'm working with our acquaintance and, our mutual friend and, continue to, work on trying to continue to get this story out. And,
Well, Rocky, let me ask you, you mentioned dog cages earlier, and every time I hear dog cages, I think of everyone giving their Montauk testimonies, What dog cages were there at P Diddy's East Hamptons mansion?
Same exact type of dog cages. Misha remembers them too.
Where were they at?
Dog
At
cage,
the mansion.
right downstairs in like the dungeon.
So he had a dungeon area, basement area.
Yeah, horrible.
Can you describe what you remember of that?
It just smelled. They would urinate on people in the cages. There was a lot of sick stuff that would go on, man. It just, like I said, everything going on in plain sight, but being hidden. And our friend Steve was remote viewing and actually said that I showed him the picture of, which I sent you, by the way, if you want to show the viewers.
This is our friend Steve Shearer.
Yeah, Steve Shearer.
Who's at Montauk. And
we have actually been on a lot of missions together. We've been through a lot together. I consider it was like a great goodbye, kind of, and losing myself in that moment, but finally bringing myself back. But it's like when you're hit with all. What is this? Oh. Your mic is off.
Here we go. You sent me this photo from behindthehedges.com.
Okay, yeah, that's inside the East Hampton house. In his house. So
it's P Diddy's East Hampton mansion.
Yeah.
He's got the white and the black. So
yeah.
Okay, and that's like the main living room kind of entertainment foyer or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that's the P Diddy
house all together. Now look around. Look what goes on. Woods. Do you know whose house this is? I don't know if it's a house or actually it could be something else. It could be, from what I remember, it might be like I don't know if it's a guard shack. It's something. I can't remember. But
he's not getting noise complaints from anybody.
I don't believe there. No.
Okay. And you said he was really proud of this house. He called it his great, beautiful house or something.
Yeah, man. Look at the layout on it. Perfect.
Okay. So that one photo was inside of this area or maybe that area?
It could have been the other area. Yeah.
Okay, so these are the three photos you sent me, and this house is running just south of $6 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow. Now, you mentioned Steven Spielberg. Did you ever see him at any of these parties?
I think I might have seen him once. I might have.
Okay. So
there are a lot of people, so it's like.
I have to ask about Tom Hanks.
I don't recall off the top of my head at this point, but it would not surprise me one bit.
And then because we've got Jennifer Lopez in this photo, do you recall seeing her?
Of course, yeah, she was always, yeah. Look how fucked up she is.
So what do you remember of her? Tell us about Chico Taco.
Well, I don't remember much about her at all. I really was connected with Misha. It was like what was said in the interview with me and Misha, and how when Diddy had a hold of us, we were like his pets, is how she puts it. Like more like we were like his, but it wasn't a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Basically, he saw the youth as his sex slaves.
Yeah.
And then
he'd make us do things to one another and then to others as well. He used mind control tactics. There's a guy named something 26. I sent you the video. And how he has to get this shot in his arm now because of the ritual black magic that Diddy was doing on these people. So, it goes beyond just popping bottles, smoking blunts, and you know what I mean? It goes way beyond that. It goes into child sacrifice. It goes into, making the ones in white actually drink blood.
So what do you mean the ones in white drink blood? That's like an initiation.
Yeah, like an initiation.
And then after they drank the blood, do they make
humiliation rituals where they'll make you make out with another man in front of a whole bunch of people, like humiliation ritual. Yeah, like that type of stuff. Or like they'll make you do push-ups until your arms hurt, like Drake was doing to Orlando Brown. I don't think that was in the Hamptons, but it happened. I seen the video. I got the videos. If you listen to that one video I sent you, Diddy says it. We're all going down, or he said, no more parties, no more this, no more that, and I'm gonna get locked up, and I'm taking everybody down. He said it, And now looking back at it, I'm wondering to myself, what was he meaning? Like, okay, the time is up.
Did you ever see Orlando Brown at any of those events?
I can't say I don't. I can't say I do.
And then with Jennifer Lopez, I got to ask, did you ever see Ben Affleck?
I don't really recall Ben Affleck. I wouldn't have known because at 17, I wasn't into. I'm really not into anything with these actors anymore. I can't even watch anything really that I I'm just I'm mortified more than anything. Like this is it's crushing at the same time because some of these musicians I looked up to.
Did they take part in any of these rituals, or was it just P Diddy, or who did you see?
Oh, I mean, they showed Lauren London, and
Who?
Lauren London, and I believe I sent another video with a woman speaking about them making her drink, and I heard her say Lauren and Diddy, and I think she might have meant um, Lauren London. So if that's the case, then I don't, and I think that might be the case because she's really quiet. She's really, really, really quiet. I mean, I don't trust any of them.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen because I myself, I'm not hip to this. However, you have mentioned Lauren London to me before. And so here's Lauren London, and she was the girlfriend of Nipsey Hussle.
I think that was what it was. Yeah. Now, by the way, to clarify, Kim Porter is no longer here. Has no longer been here. That's why people are upset with the Courtney Burgess in the book. So, and I'm quite frankly not too happy.
Why are people angry about a book that has
there's a ton of I'm not even going to speak on that because I never really got into that, and I never read the book. I never will read the book.
So here's Courtney Burgess. I barely know who that is, but he's an entertainment lawyer.
No, he's not an entertainment lawyer.
What is he? What is he? Like,
I believe he's a producer.
A producer.
Yeah, this is the gentleman right here where I have the recording. I showed it where it clearly states that, yes, you're not lying. You're in the pictures. You just got to do this, go to the court, do this, do that.
So this is a recording. This is a recording of a phone call you have with Courtney Burgess where he basically admits to you that you are in photos at some of these P. Diddy parties.
This is correct.
Okay. And then, but is he telling you not to come forward now? What's the issue?
Well, that's not really the issue. We already know the issue. We ironed that out. We spoke about it with the certain podcaster. That's the only issue I have.
Okay.
I mean, I do have my own personal issues as far as if this is the truth and you're holding it back from me, right? It is kind of a little bit, it messes with the mind. So I try to not really.
Now we have Steve Shear in the audience. He says, "Hey Rocko, we go into the rituals in the P Diddy Network show."
Oh well, we do, yeah, we do, but it's totally different. It's done through he gives information. He could explain that. But
maybe next time, let's have you and Steve on the same time, and we could do a show and kind of also. So was Steve? He himself. He was also at the Montauk and he was at the P Diddy stuff.
No, not the Montauk. No? I mean, not the P Diddy stuff. No.
Okay, so then how does he know about the P Diddy rituals?
Well, because he, like I said, he does a certain thing. He has.
He remote viewed. Yeah. Steve is a remote. He's a skilled remote viewer.
But he's very good with. He has like a. I don't know how to. He'd have to explain it because it's. I think it's called Asteroid or Asteroid. It's pretty cool. No, it can go in and get all this information.
Oh, the Akashic records.
Yeah, it can do stuff like that.
Okay, he might be accessing the Akashic records.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He data mines a lot from remote viewing with AI.
Wait, what?
He data mines.
Oh, okay, from remote viewing and AI?
Viewing with AI, yeah.
How do you remote view with AI?
No, from remote viewing with AI. I don't know. But few things to come back, mostly everything we're not having a problem with. But it's pretty interesting how some of the stuff that you'll say will actually come back like spot on. Like,
stuff that I'm saying or stuff that you're saying?
What?
Stuff that who is saying will come back spot on?
whatever you're saying, whoever the person is speaking or writing or
I'm
typing.
talking Steve Shear. Steve, you know Steve Shear, from Montauk Project. I'm talking about Steve.
Yeah, quantum. Yeah. What? Steve, man, you're throwing the whole interview off. No,
Oh, I see, because he's writing in the chat text, quantum entanglement. He's making a book about it. Okay, I see what you're talking about. He's in the chat, Rocko. Okay,
yeah,
so
I seen it. I seen
okay,
it. Yeah,
okay. So then,
good.
do you have recall yourself of the rituals? Did they take place in the dungeon part of his home?
Yes.
Okay, and then when you're talking about people, they were wearing white and
Hanging from the walls.
people are hanging from the walls.
Well, I mean, you'd be handcuffed up on the wall. He beat the shit out of you. He didn't care. Oh man, you one thing. Jaguar Wright has said it. I heard her. She told Eve. She warned Eve. Um, she said, if you hang out with the bad boys and you hang out with Diddy, you ain't gonna have no teeth in your mouth.
Did he beat women, for example? He beat
Oh my God, man! Did you see what he did to Cass? I mean, damn, man. Like,
so can you give me an example? I mean, like, is it like these women are hanging out at
I mean, there's no limit with him. There's no limit with him.
I mean, like would he, like, was there a reason why, or like, is it like a gal?
He's Satan. He's the Antichrist.
My question for you, I'm trying to get a good picture here, Rocko.
He's the Antichrist.
I'm trying to ask you a question here. Is it like he would punish you and put you in the dungeon and beat you up, or you didn't even have to screw up and he'd beat you up anyway? That's what I'm trying to ask.
You make us do it to one another.
But like, what were the kind of reasons?
You make me beat Misha up.
Like, what did she do to warrant that?
Nothing. He just liked it. He liked to bet money on it.
Bet money, like what?
Favors, man. We were favors.
So he would bet money with
other
celebrities.
Stop fucking Stewie to these people. All right, that's all we were.
So Rocket. So what he would do is he would bet other celebrities that, like, you guys would do things to each other, or what kind of bets?
Sit there and watch us, dude. I'm interest to one another.
Like, so what's the nature of the bet? Like,
female against male. You know what I mean? It didn't matter.
You mean like fighting? Like they would bet on, like, putting people up to fight each other, and they would bet on who would win.
Well, like the kids, I remember. Yeah, like the the 17-year-old, and then the ones that are 13, but they tell you that they're 17 because that's how Diddy would roll. That's how he would say it. He'd say, "Tell them you're 17."
So they would pick up children as young as 13 years old. Diddy would groom them and coach them.
Diddy would have people flown out from different states to, a small, private jet right to the Hamptons. You know what I mean? Right to.
Okay, I see. And this is exactly what he did to Justin Bieber. Is that
all the time?
He'd have him taken to his mansion or whatever, totally under his care, custody, and then he would abuse them
all the time. Or Ellen. I don't know much about Ellen. I really never seen her.
Are you talking about Ellen DeGeneres?
Yeah, I call her Ellen Degenerate, but yeah.
Okay. And then what is your knowledge of her? You saw it from shows, or do you have
shows? I could tell. I always had a funny feeling with her, and now it all makes sense with all these Diddy ones where, oh, we got a surprise for you, and Diddy comes walking out and gives these kids, we got a phone number called the Love Line. What the fuck are you telling a bunch of young kids? You have a phone line called the Love Line.
So is that basically his line to get young people sent to him? Is that what the Love Line is?
It was on this Ellen DeGenerate show.
Okay, so he was talking about this on his show with her, and it's known that
there's kids around.
And their kids around, and then they were good friends, right? And so it's known that she would hang out at his parties and vice versa.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't think I ever really seen her in the Hamptons, though, weirdly enough. I don't know. Maybe.
Because you when you look at her, like, on video or pictures, you get a bad feeling. And that tends to be an indicator that you might have had experience with her, even though you don't consciously remember.
Right. Well, yeah, there's always that possibility. Absolutely. That's absolutely.
So, Rocko, we're coming up on an hour now.
Yep.
I'm just wondering, is there any other recalls you'd like to share, or any other names?
Not at the moment. Other than, I'll just keep everybody up to date. Yeah, we had a good one.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your testimony. It's valuable, and people need to hear this. You have a good level of detail. And so thank you for sharing, Rocko. Thank you for everyone who's here with us watching live, and people who will be watching us in the future.
Yep.
Ring the bell for the children.
Amen.
Yep. And until next time, Rocko, and everybody, thank you.
You got it.